Alright, so what we're working on today is the intermediate shaft. We're going to be replacing the intermediate shaft with an upgrade, which will be a telescope shaft. So this is the intermediate shaft right here. Okay, this is the side that is called the rag joint. This actually attaches, you see the spindles in there. See if you can get the focus. Okay, this actually attaches to the steering gear box. And this right here attaches to the column. And let me open it up so you can see. We got some type of coupler that's in there that allows a little play in the actual intermediate shaft. So that's it. Okay. The way this works is you have to remove it. There's a pinch bolt. All right. This pinch bolt, just what it is. It actually pinches these in. Actually, you can actually tighten it. Okay. That allows for you to have it on the actual spindle. And there's another pinch bolt. This is the one I kept in it, where you see you tighten it and it tightens up on the spindle. Okay. So I remove this spindle nut first to remove this intermediate shaft, and then I went ahead and removed this one. Okay. Now that's the old one. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to count the splines. These are the splines, these little rivets. All right, so you want to count the splines. You also want to measure. I wouldn't suggest using this. I would suggest using a electronic caliper. It's going to give you more detail down to a few decimals out there. So you want to do it for the part that where you're going into the steer box. That's this side. Then you want to go into the coupler that's going to the steering column. You want to count the splines, and you want to take a measurement of the diameter. So that's straight across. All right. Once you do that, and also you want to find out what is the length of the actual shaft. And you can also determine that by measuring from the gearbox to the steering column. After you determine what your spline count is for the steering gearbox and also for the column and the shaft and also the diameter of it, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and order the parts down. This is for the A-body. Again, this is for the cutlass. So you want to verify and you want to check with, whomever you can check with to make sure. I'm not sure, but I can tell you that this system will work for this car. All right, but you want to speak to them, make sure you got the right application for your vehicle. So that's a disclaimer. Again, this is A-body, but I'm not sure this will work for your car. This will work particularly for this vehicle. All right, I'm going to go over showing you the parts. These are the parts. This is the part that actually goes into the steering. Hold on. No, this is the part that goes into the steering gearbox. Okay, steering gearbox. And this is the part that goes into the coupler, that goes into the column. All right. So you also want to get a telescope. The reason why you want to get this telescope is because you're going to want something where you can, make some adjustment, and that's a locking nut to make an adjustment. Okay. But we're going to have to cut this to size because this is 27 inches and this is 18 inches. Alright, there should be enough talking. Here's the tools. You're going to need a blade to be cutting. Always use the gloves, safety glasses, a drill because we have to drill. We have to drill in these, let me show you. We have to actually drill in this lock nut, stud, whatever it's called, right here. You can see that. But we're going to have to drill in there so this will go through the telescope. Alright, because this is actually hollow. So we actually call it the tube. So we're going to drill in here so that can go through there. And we're not going to drill out the other side. We're going to drill only in one side. Alright, so we're we're going to be doing everything by following the directions. Again, this is the, I guess it's the 24 inch, not 27. But we're going to follow the instructions for the telescoping shaft instructions. And then we're going to do the attachment of double D tubing to the U-joint. So we're going to read them and go directly through it. It's going to be very detailed because I want to make sure you can do it. This will be my first time doing something like this, so we're both going to be learning. Let's make sure you also got the Allen wrenches, some pliers, vice grip, your drill, and that should be it. So we're going to be focusing primarily here, and then once we get everything set up, we'll take it over to the engine bay and we'll try to install it. So that's where we at. Alright, we went ahead and measured the distance between the steering column and the actual gearbox inside the firewall. So now what we're about to do is, move this out the way, we're going to, mark exactly where we want to make our cut on the tube. We're going to make our cut right here. And I'm just pinning that in. What we're going to do is, let me show you the part number this. This is the Tele Shaft 450024 by this company here. No advertising, just wanted to give you a point of reference. Let's move this out of the way. So you see we're going to cut the shaft. I believe it was what, extended 27 inches. Now we're at exactly 20 inches. So that'll give us enough to telescope it to bring it in and out. So the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to work on the steering column U-joint. And remember, according to the directions, that's what this is, attached to double D tubing to the U-joint. What we're going to need to do is we're going to actually need to take this U-joint and we're going to need to put it on here, right? I'm not sure because the directions don't say, but I'm assuming that you could actually take the tube all the way up to here where there's the opening, or you can take it all the way down. If I take it all the way down, if I can't, where I shouldn't, I can go ahead and bring it back up. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this nut right here, this locking nut. I'm going to secure that in place with my Allen wrench. Let me take that, secure it in place with my Allen wrench. Okay. Then I'm going to take this pencil. Remember what I was saying, that I needed to drill a hole into the tube so that this nut and this bolt will go through, and I'll be able to lock it in the tube. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pencil. I'm just going to pencil it in right where I need to drill my hole. It requires a, it requires a 3/8, but we're going to start off with a smaller drill bit so we can do a pilot hole. Alright, I've already drilled my pilot hole. Started off with a 11/64. Now I'm going to the 3/8. That's what's required. required. I don't think it's gonna hurt. But I'm taking some grease. I'm gonna put it inside the U-joints that goes over the shaft. Let's go ahead and lock it in place. All right, remember, the piece that we drilled, we're gonna have this long stud go through it, then we're gonna lock it in. So that's the grease. This is the shaft. This is actually the shaft that's going in the steering column. Let's put it over here. All right, it's in there. We're gonna take that bolt. We're gonna take it all the way in. And we're also gonna take this lock nut that goes on the side of it. I'm just gonna put it on the side here. This is supposed to be for the locking nut, but we're gonna just make sure this is in nice and tight. And then we'll get to the U-joint that has to go in the we'll get to the U-joint that has to go into the I heard somebody coming to the house, but anyway, so we're gonna have this tighten, and we're gonna just lock that just a little bit. Okay, and we're gonna pull that back just a little bit. So we should be good to go on this side. Tighten, so this shouldn't go anywhere else. This is not adjustable. We're not moving this. This is what's locking the U-joint into the shaft. And this here, we're gonna also take this, tighten it, so it's not going anywhere. Take that, tighten it, make sure it's in there. Make sure it's in there. And then later on, we're gonna come back and lock these locking nuts down. Okay, that takes care of that side. Let's pull this up. Let's move this over here. Same thing, I went ahead and put the grease on this side. And let's go ahead and make it as such. Where everything's on the same side. We're going to make everything on the same side so we got access to it. Okay. So we're going to just push that in. Grease packed in it. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and start to turn these, lock them down. So we have a complete shaft when we go for install. And we just tighten it up. It did say in the directions that after 100 miles we're going to come back and tighten all this back up. But for now, just trying to get it fitted in place. So this is actually now a complete shaft. Okay, this is where it goes in the steering gearbox. And believe it or not, all these parts under here are brand new. I've just been having some leaks and the body work, blah, blah, blah. So I gotta clean it up. But anyway, the way this works is you have the U-joint that I was showing you that goes into the steering gearbox. This is the steering gearbox. Okay. Now, what I did was when I installed this upgraded intermediate shaft, I went ahead and took the shaft off and I went ahead and put the U-joint, let's see if I can show this to you. I put the U-joint in first without the shaft, alright, to get it locked in there. And then this pinch bolt, this is the actual pinch bolt that came in and what I was showing you. that goes into the steering gearbox shaft, where's the double D. What double D means where it's shaved off a little bit, alright? So that's how I was able to keep this in, okay? And then once I got this in, I put the intermediate, not the intermediate shaft, but just the shaft, I put it in the U-joint. And I already had the other U-joint attached. I moved the telescope, I moved it up to have it actually in place and put it into the so this is where you have the U-joint going into the steering gearbox. Again, I'm gonna ahead and put that on first before I put on this shaft. Okay, so I had the shaft out so I could put this in place because it's pretty tight quarters for this one. For other vehicles, it's a lot more wide open, and you can actually just go ahead and have the entire thing assembly, but that wasn't gonna work for this install. So I went ahead and put this on first, put the shaft in next, tighten that up, adjust it accordingly, and then I ran that up here to the steering column. That's the steering column shaft that's behind there. And I moved the U-joint up, had it in the splines lined up, and tightened it, and that's it.